Good morning, everybody. Really just so delighted to have everybody here. This is an Indigenous Teachings Learning Circle hosted by the Ontario Network of CAPC and CPNP projects. And my name is Sydney Bell, and I'm the program lead for our network. And I just have a couple of things to say, and then I'll pass things on to others. Really just excited to have this opportunity for this Cedar bath teaching. And so as we begin our time together today, I would like to give gratitude and thanks to those to have been the traditional keepers and stewards of the land. And as a settler Canadian, I acknowledge the benefits I receive and the thankfulness I feel to live and work where I do. We are all coming together as a network of CAPC and CPNP projects from all across this region of Ontario. And I know we have other guests here who are also joining us. Our network acknowledges and gives thanks to the First Peoples of the territories where we work and serve, and gratitude for sharing this land so that we can continue to do our work with families. And what I would like to take a moment to do now is offer some tobacco to our elder Vera, who is here, that I will introduce. And I'm offering you this tobacco in gratitude for your time, your wisdom, and offering of these teachings. And we're doing a virtual offering here through the camera. So thank you so much to Vera Jones, Nimkekwe Thunder Woman. Was born Lene Lenape from Morviatown, Delaware First Nation. She is mother to 5 boys and 1 daughter, grandmother to 12 grandchildren, 27 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild, born on Vera's birthday just this month, or in March 6, 2022. She's very active in ceremonies and in learning traditional ways. With her is Sheila Robson, Escude Kwe, firewoman, the one who lights your inner fire. Sheila is Bear Clan on her father's side and Turtle Clan on her mother's side. Sheila is a ceremonial Ojite Kwe, sun dancer, sweat lodge conductor, bundle caretaker, medicine gatherer, and maker of teas and salves. Sheila and Vera are both from Nevashingming First Nation. And I'm just really so delighted to have you here today. And I would also like to welcome and introduce to you Lurleen Ashkwe, CPNP coordinator of the Aurelia Native Women's Group. So Lurleen, would you like to say a few words?
Good morning, Miigwech, Sydney. Ani Bojo, Main Gandishnikas, Nea Shingming and Donjaba, and Makwa, Dodam, Nishnabe Kwandao, Aurelia, and Nindinda. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lurleen Ashkwe, and I am the CPNP worker for the Aurelia Native Women's Group. And I am from Nea-Shingaming First Nations. I live in Aurelia. I am Bear Clan, and it's an honor to bring these 2 beautiful women to our Indigenous Learning Circle. Now, we've been working with Sheila and Vera before COVID. We would actually bring them, and they would do ceremonies and teachings at the Aurelia Native Women's Group with our mothers, our families, our Nokomis, from full moon ceremonies, drum birthing, ribbon skirt making, medicine pouches, and we also brought them in for our very first welcoming celebration for our new babies. That day we had a ceremony and feast for all the babies that were born that year. We presented them each with a ribbon skirt and a ribbon shirt, and it was wonderful. So we continue to work with Sheila and Vera virtually. And I just want to say miigwech, and I am looking forward to this morning and being able to share their teachings. So miigwech.
Miigwech, Lurleen. Thank you so much for connecting us. So over to you, Vera and Sheila. We're just so welcome.
Roni, Cedar Clinders, because Makwado Dam, the Benamagashan, the Do, meanwhile, the Benamash Kukamakwe, now Shingming Donchba, Sheila Jaganashi knows when. So I want to say bonjour and welcome. And I have some sama here that I'm going to offer to our Nokomen. And I also have a smudge. So we'll do a virtual smudge as well. And I'm going to ask Nokomis if she can offer up some prayers for us. Here we go. Okay, so, and we always put our sama in our left hand because it's closest to our heart. And Creator already knows our intention. And when we use our words to say those prayers, that's for us to hear, to use all these gifts that Creator gave us. So I'm going to ask Nokomis Nimkikwe if she can you please offer up some prayers for us? Go ahead.
Pingalowano, mawa. Ni along go march. Ni da sin be ni up the neck. Noon just I. She said, I'm asking the Creator, the Spirit of the universe, to have this powerful blessing of instruction, direction, and energy, so that we could fulfill our journey in a good way just for this day. And I'm also being grateful for all of us, so that this guidance, direction, and energy that is given to us by all of creation that we see out there, for this beautiful way of life, in a Vermont, when always learning to live this good life. Also, I'm telling the universe out there, mysteries of the universe, that we are so grateful for all these guidance and direction and energy for every nation, and that hopefully we won't be too much of a hurry or confused with situations that we have no control over, especially now. I'm also telling mysteries of the universe that we do not understand and that we're afraid, but we will trust in the direction, the guidance, and the energy that the universe supplies for us. And we know that with the good rest we have, the beautiful home, the safe place we live, We have all of that provided for us. And it's with the help and only by the guidance and direction and energy of our Creator that this is done. And I am so grateful, Minabamad, with learning to live this good life. Anishik. I need to tell you that Nimchi quit. Went by last night, I heard thunder from the western doorway. That's my name, was given to me a long time ago. And it's not the loudness, it's the sacredness of the name that's so important. And the thunder, Kachich was more, Kachich and Kaya, are the most powerful waves that change the seasons that we're seeing now. I want you to remember that all of creation has you in hand, just like this, like I hold this tobacco. The mysteries of the universe also knows our aches and pains and even the sadness that we have to face. But if we hang on to this way of life, learning to live this good life, we will do that. But we also have to do our share and taking care of ourselves one day at a time, just for right now. It only takes a minute to make your offering to the Creator. Doesn't matter if you're at church or wherever it is. Just be grateful and be thankful for all the guidance, direction, and the energy that is given to every individual. All of creation is there for you and me. Let's take care of it. Now I'm gonna be quiet, not for very long, because if I disagree with you, I'm gonna let you know. And if you disagree with me, that's okay. It doesn't matter. The important thing is, I know who I am. I want you to know who you are. Okay, get mouthy, you guys.
Jimmy, glad to know.
Mm.
Well, again, I want to welcome everyone. That was such a beautiful prayer, and thanks for joining.
You should open it with a song.
Oh, my whistle's in my bag, but I didn't bring my drum.
Okay.
And okay, so yeah, I'm gonna sing.
Always.
I'm gonna sing a water song,
Mhm.
and it ties right in with the teachings of the Cedar bath and how important that is. And so I'll sing the water song. And we're sitting out here in Nokomis's home, and so I'm just going to give you a picture because we're a visual people of what I see, and we're surrounded by cedar trees, and it's beautiful, and the water is right in front of us, and so it's beautiful and it's wavy out there. So I'm going to sing. I'll get up and I'll sing the water song for us.
Get on here.
Ni Gimme question where we go. Keisha, where need me go? Me bear is a gay go. Gimme question where need we go. Keisha, where need me go. Me bear is a gay go. Gimme question where need me go. Keisha, where need me go. Me bear is a gay go. Gimme question where need me go. Keisha, where need me go. Gimme Gretch. Okay, so that's the water song, and we often sing that on full moon ceremonies, and so with the Cedar Bath teachings, it all, all these teachings all come together and they all tie into one another. And so we acknowledge our water because our bodies are mostly made up of water. And inside the womb, that's where the baby lives for 9 months, sometimes less, and surrounded by water. That's medicine. That's our medicine, and that's how we look at it, and that's how we refer to it, as medicine. And so we honor that medicine and that water that we're carrying the baby in. And as we prepare, all of creation is just waiting. All of creation is waiting to welcome this brand new life, that's going to join us on this plane, in this realm, on Mother Earth. And so one of the first things there are teachings and traditions that haven't happened for a long time, and it's starting to come back now. And it's so beautiful. So, when that baby comes out, the first bath that we give the baby is the cedar bath, eh? And so whether we do it beforehand and in preparation and getting that ready, or our aunties or sisters or relatives come to help us with that, picking of that cedar, and that's really important. It's really important, when we take our sema out there and we go out and talk to that tree, and people make fun of tree huggers. We're tree huggers. and we're tree lovers, right? And it's because we have that understanding, you know, that Mother Earth gives life, and we're like Mother Earth. We give life, you know, and the blood that flows through our veins is like the waters that flow through Mother Earth. And it's just so, it's so beautiful how we're so closely connected that way. And so when we go out, you know, before a baby comes in that time, you know, new moms to be or aunties or even grandmas will go out and pick, you know, talk to those trees and talk to all of creation. And so when we go out, we take our sema, we go out and we go on the land and spend time with those cedar trees and ask them for their medicine, talk to them, and then we introduce ourselves. We say who we are, and we ask them if we can have some of that medicine to help with the bathing of that baby, that new life that's coming. And we state our intentions. You know, we might want to take a little, you know, put our fingers in there and put a little dab inside a baby's mouth, you know, offer some back to the earth when we make that medicine, you know, and the whole time that we're making that medicine, we have our water, and we're always praying over that water. We're praying for that water, you know, and we leave our offerings at the tree and we say Chimigwach, and then we pick some medicine, and we only take what we need. You know, we don't overpick. And, you know, so we just take what we need and give our thanks. And, you know, you might want to give that cedar tree a nice hug and say Chimigwach, you know, and take that cedar back and then start getting your medicine prepared. And so we'll put a pot of water on, and then we'll put that cedar in the water, and, you know, and just slowly let it boil. And, you know, and some people like to have really strong tea. That's me. I like my tea really strong. And then some just like it nice and gentle, right? Usually starting out, you'll want to just make it a nice gentle tea, you know. So and for baby especially, right? You want to just make it nice, and so it's got a beautiful color on it. You know, as soon as that water changes color, your tea is ready. You know, and
Can you hear me?
can you hear me okay? Am I loud enough? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, and so you'll want to have that tea ready, and you can store it in a jug and put it in the fridge, and then when baby is ready to come, you know, I don't know how the hospitals feel about that, but you can take that in there or wait till baby comes home, whatever is comfortable for you. But usually that would be baby's first bath, is that cedar bath, eh? And so when baby comes into the world, you know, we pick up that baby and we lift the baby up to the 4 directions, and we announce, you know, to each direction who we're holding. And I didn't get to do that with my grandson in the hospital, but when he came home and when he came to my house for the first time, I did that. I lifted him up and I introduced him to creation, you know, Akadewan, Gadishnakas, you know, to each direction. And I gave him his first cedar bath and put a little dab in his mouth, and I drank the tea for him, and I put some out on the earth. Me and my daughter, we both had some tea. And anyway, so that's the introduction, and it's a cleansing, right? And we follow that through, you know, our whole lives. So, and it's never too late to start. If you're just learning about this, you can do this right now if you want. You know, after we're done on Zoom, you can go out and get cedar, look for cedar, and you can do that, you know. And yeah, so sorry about the interruption. She's gonna fix that.
No worries.
Anyway, so yeah, well, Yeah, it's never too late to start. You can do that right now, and bathe all your little ones, and when you're feeling, so as we grow older, you know, when first, I better go backwards. When we're born, Creator gave us all those gifts, okay? Those 7 grandfather teachings. So Creator gave us all of those beautiful, wonderful gifts. And the medicines are all around us, and we have that. So Creator blessed us with everything that we need, right? And what we need from our parents is that love and nourishment. And it gets passed on through generation to generation. However, times changed as, you know, colonization set in. We're all colonized Indians now, and, you know, and residential school and the war. So we have all of these effects of trauma, right? And so with that being said, this is where Cedar Tea comes in, because as we move along in life, when you're feeling sad, when you just don't feel right, like there's something, but you don't know what it is, this is a good time to go out and get your cedar and to have, you know, to take care of the body. And we wash our hair in cedar. Some ways of, I just gave my grandson a cedar wipe down. So, you know, when they're sick, you can have a pot of cedar tea on the stove there, and just, you know, dip your washcloth in there, and you can wash, right? We can wash baby down, we can wash all the children down, and we can even wash ourselves down, you know, and take care of ourselves that way. And that's how much that cedar tree loves us, you know, to look after us with all that beautiful medicine, you know. And mind you, when you're pregnant, now this is a question that people always ask. When you're pregnant, can you have cedar tea? Some will say yes, some will say no. And what I like to say is follow your heart, right? You'll know. It's medicine from the earth. And Mother Earth wouldn't give us something that would harm us, right? And way back in the day, you know, the moms, and I'll tell you why, because cedar is vitamin C. And it's loaded with vitamin C. And when, you know, winter time comes around, that's when we drink our cedar tea, right? So we don't get those bugs, those flus, and those sicknesses, right? And so that's what I like to say about that piece having to do with cedar. And anyway, so yeah, so you can sponge bath your baby with the cedar water and look after baby that way. You feel this like tingling sensation. It just feels different than using water. You get this like tingling, like it's really hard to describe and explain, but I know that when we wash with cedar tea, something happens. It's like this transformation happens for us, and you just feel so good, you know. It gives you this really amazing feeling, and it's not like having a regular bath. And the only thing I can say is that maybe it's because we've talked to that tree, we've made an agreement with that tree, and we've told that tree our intentions, and the tree accepted our tobacco, our sema, and we talked to the water. Maybe it's the spiritual piece of it, right? I'm not really sure, but all I know is it feels really good. And babies absolutely love having their cedar bath. And so even as they grow, you know, into toddlers and that, you know, taking them through life, you can keep doing that, you know, introduce a nice light cedar tea for them. And as they get older, you know, if they're going to go out and play outside and run around in the bush, you know, You can tell them if you get hungry, you can talk to that cedar tree. It's okay if you don't have tobacco because we don't give our kids tobacco, right? Unless there's an understanding within the family. Now, my 13-year-old, she carries her own tobacco, and she's also a medicine picker and maker. Anyways, you can tell your children, you can talk to that cedar tree and take a little break and ask them, can you help me? You know, because we were always taught when I was growing up, if you're hungry, you can have some cedar. Put a little cedar in your mouth and eat that cedar, and it'll sustain you until you can get to food or water. It looks after you, right? So there's just so much around, you know, that beautiful tree, and you know, and the medicine that it carries, and it's so beautiful, and you know, and we use it when we're lighting the fire. So maybe dad wants to light a fire for when baby is born, you know, and cedar will be used with that sema, that tobacco, to put into the fire to make those offerings, you know. So it's a cleanser, it's a healer, you know, it's a caretaker of people, of us, right, of humanity. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful helper and medicine for us that, you know, and there's songs. Some of you may know a cedar song that you can sing. And because when we go out and pick, we sing to the trees, we sing, you know, and those birds will come and ask about that, right? And you can thank that cedar tree and tell that cedar tree, you know, I'm going to use this medicine for my baby, right? To bath baby and to take care of baby and for our family, you know, and give thanks to that tree, that cedar tree, and acknowledgement and beautiful, like the only time that cedar song comes out is when I'm out there actually picking cedar, or else I would sing it for you and give you an idea. But I mean, there's lots of songs, even if you just sang something, you know, and it doesn't matter because all of creation knows that you have good intentions and then for a new life that's coming into the world. And yeah, so Nokomis, is there something that I may have missed?
I think, yeah. I want you to hear my little story here. And we need to go back and look at it. When I had my baby, we nursed our babies always. And even when mothers couldn't go out, like my cousin Sally here, we all had babies at the same time. And when one had to go out, I could drop my baby off and she would nurse my baby while I was gone. And even in the bush, when things had to be done, she would say, I gotta do this. I bring the baby over, bring him over. And so it's very important that we remember. The first thing I asked when my great-great-grandson was born, is she nursing? And my daughter said, yes. I said, oh, good. Oh, great. That is beautiful. Because that's the healthiest. When everything that they need, that baby needs, the mother has. You have everything your child needs. Everything. I think too, like it's comical in a way. Now the boy that I nursed, these children come over here and look after my driveway. They blow the snow because I feed the birds. And these children clean all this out. And I think about that. I think, oh my God, this is so beautiful. But if you make this connection, one thing I want you to really remember, this is so important, that you honor every little weed you pick. Honor every little branch you break. Honor. That's what it is. Honor the medicine. Honor the, I'll say Westia, all the animals, Bet Dag, and all the plants. Honor everything that is out there. Because with all that creation, if it wasn't there, we wouldn't be sitting here. Even if you live in a little tiny place, you can still make that prayer of honoring all of creation. And that means the plants, Bet Dag and Westia, all the animals, which takes everything. And another thing that's so important, I hope you go back to giving all you have and nursing your baby. Nursing your baby. I always say, when I see them, everybody likes big boobs. They get them blown up or fixed or whatever. And you say to them, this is way back when, you probably won't remember this, actor James Mansfield. He had great big butts. And the only time that I had big butts, Sally, that were, and you would leak, and we used to say James Mansfield, Now you wouldn't know. I mean, that's years ago. But no matter where you are, like growing up in a bush, growing up in the city, wherever you are, and I need to tell this young lady, Sydney Bell, I have a sister in Penticton. She calls me all the time. She tells me how beautiful it is, and just the way things are. I think that's the greatest of all, is how our Anishinaabe, the red race, is so close to nature. That's what it is. We all were in the beginning. We've got to find our way back. And this is one of the ways we can do it. I want you to believe in yourself. I'm not asking you to believe in me. You don't have to believe a darn word I say. But for what you do and how you think and what you say, you need to believe in that. That is yours. And if I can help by whatever, even if it's a good smack across a kisser, if it makes a difference in my life, I'll take it. So anything that makes a difference in your life, say, I'll take it. I will learn it. And I'm so proud, like Sheila says, she quit smoking. Oh, good. She wasn't the only one. Here's my daughter because of her complexion. When we went out, she says, I go to deep massage therapist, rubby dubby. And where's your coffee? Mom, I don't drink it. What? She said, no, I'd be lucky if I have just a little bit of coffee in the morning, but I'm not drinking any more of that because it's not good for my skin. lessons we're learning. Now, my daughter is 62, I think. It doesn't mean we know everything. I don't know anything. Everything that I've learned from the grandmother, my mom. I can. Oh gosh. Now I'm looking forward to going in a bush. Take my grandchildren, because they're going to have to dig up all those leaks from it. There's always, and include your family, what little bit and how close they are. Even if they're not your family, they're still your, you're the caretaker. You're the caretakers of the next generation. Get your act together, make sure you have something to offer. Now that's your choice. If you don't, then you're lost. And you could stay lost. You don't have to be. You don't ever have to be. I'm still learning. I always say, one day at a time. Every time I wake up and I sit here at the table or at Jill and I look outside and see the water, I can tell by the water out there, oh, it's rough. It's over the shore. Oh, this is where the wind is coming from. Comes from the east. Oh, look, the storm. But it's such a good feeling. And when you use the medicine, like Sheila does, she makes a lot of medicine. Not just for me. She makes it for white people that depend on that medicine. And I said, yes, I take it out there. I get stingy with it because I make sure I keep some for myself because I know what's in it and I use it. But when I take some out to John and I see him using it, and I say, Sheila, you got to do something. He's going to run out. I only had one little wee tiny jar. You have those skills to every one of you. Every one of you can make medicine. Every individual can make medicine. You don't have to buy it in the store.
And that mama that had the question about her daughter and growing pains, yes, absolutely. You can use cedar tea. It's vitamin C, and you can wipe her legs down and make her a cup of tea and have some tea with her. You know, it's always really nice that when we do these cedar baths and medicine making, that we do it with our children. You know, because it encourages them, you know, well, I'm not going to do that if mom's not going to do it, kind of thing, right? You know, or if dad's not going to do it, then I don't want to do it, right? So we try to do it as a family, eh? And someone just came in and said they had lots of questions. But the other thing I wanted to mention is when we get our spirit names, you know, that usually happens right away. And so for me, for my youngest baby, and so, you know, because of colonization, we didn't actually get our spirit names when we were little. We grew up and we got them. But for my little Georgie Porgy, she's 13 now. And so here's how hers went, is she was born early in the morning, and I called Nokomis right away. You know, when I thought they would be awake and alive and having tea or whatever. And I called, and there was another grandmother here, and her name is Philomene Bach, and she was gifted with giving names. And so she turns to Philomene and she says, Sheila had her baby. She had a little girl, and right away, you know, Philomene just yelled out, Nishkemanokame, that's her name. And so she told me, so I had to repeat it over the phone. Shkemanokame, Shkemanokame. You know, what does that mean? It's spring medicine, and it made total sense, eh? And so she got to meet her spring medicine about, I think Georgia was probably about, oh, it was definitely over 1 anyways. But anyway, so she got to meet the grandmother that gifted her the name. And that sometimes that's just how that works, eh? And it's so beautiful. But I think that was Julie that came into the chat. I was trying to read the chat and I forgot to ask. So she had specific questions. So can we unmute Julie Sydney so she can ask?
Sure. Sheila, there was a little question a little earlier about, is there a special time to pick cedar or can it be picked year round? That was in the chat by Jay King.
You can pick it anytime.
You can pick it anytime. Thank you. So Julie, you should be able to unmute yourself if you would like to. Let's see.
Bonjour, Nongons
Hello.
Indigenous cause, Makwadodem, we quem com de Ben Dogus, Port Dover and Donjaba. So can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just wish I could see you.
I've got a white headset on, glasses, blue kind of shirt on. I'm not sure if you see me now, but
You are.
so I have an opportunity coming up in June to hold some workshops for our local Catholic school board, some of the classes from K to 12. I'm hoping actually more to present it to some older kids. And in those workshops, I'm just hoping to share a little bit about my story, how I started to relearn my traditions. My mom was a residential school survivor, bits like that, share some drum songs. But I wanted to somehow include, I was thinking of somehow including cedar tea. So offering the students who are coming through an opportunity to taste it. But one of the questions I was thinking about, and again, maybe my thoughts were that I'd bring some branches, some small branches in, and have them actually tear it apart to prepare it for the tea. Now, the question I have, is what if there's girls who are on their time? I don't want to, single them out and say, sorry, you can't touch those medicines at that time. And not knowing, how might I deal with that? Is that allowed? Are they able to handle the medicines when they're on their time?
I think one thing that you need to do is you're introducing it. You need to break that cedar apart and you need to tell them the story, what you know behind it. When you give it to children, sometimes the stories you have them, they're not ready yet. Don't do that. Do your cedar, I don't know how many. Don't make it strong, make it just a taste. Make sure it's fresh. Or you don't have to boil it, pour hot water on it. Let it sit for half an hour till it's cool. Then let them drink it.
Okay, so I do the prep myself.
Right. It's your teaching. Don't give it to them. You need to learn it first and you need to show them.
No, miigwech.
Can they drink it on their time then? Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the handling of, is it the sage, or you can't smudge when you're on your time?
Oh, you can smudge on your time too. They take the cedar and put it around somebody that's on their time. They wrap them up because they're a more powerful spirit then. Because our babies are in our sweat lodge. That's important, but there's a teaching behind that. I'm not going to tell you because it'll just confuse issues. But right now, if you're going to teach them something, you're the one that is giving the instructions. So you're the one that needs to show them how it's done. And remember, when they got here, when we tied up that boat, when it landed on shore, it was the red race that saved those people. And how did they do it? Cedar. All that, think about it. This is an old story. Right now, we're all relearning everything, and it's powerful. It is. I just love this, that you're willing to take a risk and get this done. But remember, you're the one. You are the one. You're sitting in my place. You're telling these young people and showing them a new way of life. That's your responsibility, not theirs. Understand? Do you understand me?
Yes.
And she was saying that she gave her toddlers cedar tea and half water, or cedar tea, half water with honey. And absolutely, you can put honey or maple syrup in your tea. Absolutely, you can add that. And then Philippa asks, says, I have been told that the cedar should be from the female cedar defined by the cones. Is this something that you teach? Well, that's really interesting that you asked that, because I think you have to have an understanding of the trees and of the male trees and the female trees to do that. However, I think both the grandmothers and grandfather cedar tree are always willing to help, and to help humanity, yes, with healing. So yes, and yeah, so that's that. And then Trina says, I was taught that cedar is a woman's medicine, so it can be handled by females at all times. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So are there any other questions? Does anyone else have any other questions?
I didn't see any more in the chat. Everybody's welcome to type something or unmute yourself if you have a question.
Honey, can you hear me?
I hear.
Okay, I'm just curious, or a question. At one, I wasn't sure, but can a pregnant lady have cedar tea?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, and yeah, so I always like to tell people it's up to them, right? You follow your heart, and if it, because your heart's not going to steer you wrong, the body is not going to steer you wrong. It's because of colonization that we're told, don't do that, don't do this, you leave those medicines alone, don't pick up those bundles, right? And if it feels right for you to have that cedar tea, you can have that cedar tea. Everyone has free will, and you have to decide for yourself if that's something that you want to do, right?
And one thing I need you to do, I don't know why you're asking all these questions right now. You grandmothers in your area, on your reserve, why don't you go and see them? What are you doing? Get busy. They're waiting for you.
Oh yes, you gotta.
They have messages for you.
I did go see them, but I wanted to hear your questions too, because I work in a school system, and we did have a pregnant lady here. She's on mat leave now, and I wasn't sure because it was just like, I don't know, like I'm still learning my medicines, and that was just the one thing I said, I'm not sure, but I'll ask. And then you guys came on, so I said, well, we'll see. That's how I'm learning too. So, miigwech.
Yeah, this is very powerful. In fact, I'm so happy I attended. Yes, I've been led to believe too, or told that step out of the circle when you're smudging, if you're on your time. And pregnant women never, the only thing that I thought they could touch or smudge with was sage. And you're right, I don't know where all these teachings come from. I don't even know. I always say to people, I don't know where Indigenous come from. I'm not a baby anymore. I was born in the 50s. Why did they call us Indigenous? My mother always says, that's from university professors. They all go to university to learn how to be Native Indians.
Like, this is so true. You're right on. You'll never find us in a book.
Yeah.
It's a way of life. And that way of life is, look out there. It is, we're born. I always say I'm a bush bunny. I live in a bush. I live in a shack. I love my life. I'm not and I think about McDonald's and all these fast foods that are out there. Now, I like McDonald's once in a while. But if I had, well, I can't go there every day, or Tim Hortons, like, not in your life. I like my mush porridge. I like my homemade soup. I made out of a soup bone. I like my venison. I was raised on wild meat. There was no such thing when I was born, like as wieners and bologna and
Craft dinner.
yeah, there was no such thing. Like, I always say I'm 29. Now I can say 38, you know. But we didn't grow up with that. So I didn't either. I learned how to hunt. We grew up on rabbits, squirrels. My dad was a trapper. The only thing I never ate was skunk. But that was a powerful medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it wasn't useful. It was a powerful medicine. And all the medicines that those animals carry, now they use even skin to bear, and all the grease and oh gosh. Have to just explore for yourself.
I want to say Chimigwedge to all the grade 8 and Miss Pheasant's class for joining us too. I hope this helps. So to the youth out there, you know, if you ever go out in the bush and get lost, don't forget, you know, Cedar and Cedar will sustain you, eh? So I'm really glad that you joined us, and just
Don't get lost without a compass.
yes. Well, know your direction.
Yes.
You know, there's plants out there and moss grows on a specific side of a tree, eh? You know, just throwing it out there. There's lots of medicine people in Wikwemacong. So
Yeah.
you can go out there and ask them about teachings on the land, eh, about the medicines, and they can help you with that so you won't get lost.
I used to go and stay there for a week and listen to the elders.
Yes. And so all of you that live in the cities, yeah, not all of you live on reserves. And so you know what? Get to one. Go to the reserve. Go to your home. Find some roots. And if you were adopted out and you're looking for that connection, we're here.
Yeah, come here. You can camp right on here.
Get a hold of Laura. She can show you how to get here, and you can come and camp on the lawn, and you know, so you can learn, right? Because we're all family, right? You know, and we want to help in any way that we can. So, you know, you don't have to be stuck out there in the city, but I mean, they got trees in the city, and you can go and talk to those trees in the city. they'll listen to you too, because they're all connected under the earth, right? The root system is so big that they connect with all the trees all over the land, right? So, and yeah, so I just wanted to say that part. And then Laureline, yes. So during a passing, yes, we do. We also surround pregnant moms with Cedar as a means of protection. And there's other things that we can do as well, you know, because sometimes it's really hard for a pregnant mom to not be a part of her family's celebration of life, right? So
When they bury them.
and yes, and even when they're put back to the earth, their bed is lined with cedar,
Yeah.
and that's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so bear, this is bear. How important is bear, please, for all you? Oh gosh, yes, yes. So is the deer. Oh my goodness. Okay, what uses does cedar have? Teas? Yeah, absolutely. You can smudge. You can. My daughter grinds. She dries out cedar. She picks it and dries it out, and she puts it in a smudge as well. So you can smudge with it. Mary Lynn Miigwech, and oh, we're just so grateful to everyone. We're so grateful to everyone that came and shared and, you know, asked questions. Me and Norma are coming to camp for some teaching. Sheila.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Yay. Maybe some songs whenever it's safe again. I appreciate the water teaching she did for us. She is so funny. Love to hear her tell it like it is. Absolutely. That's why she's like an awesome, and amazing teacher, my Nokomis. Sorry.
Sheila, I just wanted to,
Kidding.
before we end for today, I wanted to let all of our CAPC and CPNP workers know that we are slowly opening back up at Aurelia Native Women's Group. And I have asked Sheila and Vera to be our to come and do our first in-person ceremony at ONWG. Right now, we are on our second week of baby bundle making with our moms. We are helping the babies, the moms, build their bundle. And so we would like to do a celebration and that welcoming again and have a feast. So that is coming at the end of May. Yay, we're so excited.
That's wonderful.
And if that's okay.
There is questions about the camps, Sheila, there. Do you have a teaching camp and let us know where the camps are?
Well, we can do it whenever, you know, we can always make room for that. Absolutely.
There's a park.
And we have a park, yes.
Yeah.
You can camp up
Florida.
there, yeah.
Cape Croker Park.
Yeah.
Well, I got a whole
On-
park.
Oh,
In fact, all you city Indians that want to come and reconnect, eh?
And you gotta bring your own tent. And you gotta bring your own food, and that's not hot dog.
No hot dog.
Scone, and then you can go to Sis's.
So teach how to make scone over a fire.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Fire, make chili on fire, corn. You can cook corn in the fire. I mean, like, yeah, beautiful.
You make me want to travel all the way from British Columbia to come in.
Come on down.
Are there any other questions for Sheila?
Yes, I got a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
My name is Gwen Nongkway, and what I'm curious about is more to do with cedar bass that are connected to trauma. I understand that that is common for women, men, anyone who's been through trauma, that they're helped through that with cedar bass. Do you know much about that?
Yeah.
Hi, I
I'm-
just want to say Chimigwech from Fort Hope. We have like 8 of us here. We have some elders, and we just want to say Chimigwech as well.
Oh, me glad.
Okay, one thing, this lady that called about the cedar, listen, this is important. Pick cedar. Have a cedar, bring it in.
Oh, lucky.
Spoil it, let the cedar go through the home. Let everybody breathe it, it's healing.
And it takes the sickness out of the air.
It'll take your thinking sickness out of the air. Try it.
Well, thank you both. Are you, I know we've maybe kept you longer than we were saying. I don't know if there are other questions or how you're feeling about your time, Sheila and Vera.
Lots of time. Got all day.
Say hi to all the grannies over there.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, look at
We're
that. Hello.
And mwah, mwah, mwah.
It's wonderful.
Hey, there's all the grannies right there.
This
one
is
thing-
so beautiful. I really want more teachings from you ladies. Honestly, I've attended hundreds and hundreds of different teachings, but this has really caught me, and it's gone very deep, and I'm so happy that I came.
Oh, me glad. Me glad. That's beautiful.
Yes,
One
it's
thing I
so-
want to say, this is really, really important. You know, we have so many elders and so many grandmothers and grandfathers. And, you know, I know a majority, I think, are women here, right? I don't know if we have any men online, but anyways, maybe the women can let their men know how important it is that we reach out to our elders and we reach out to those grandmothers and grandfathers, and because they know things that we don't know. And the only way we're going to learn is by sitting and visiting with them, and they start to talk and tell you stuff, right? And we don't write nothing down. We don't, you know, we don't bring our recording devices when we visit with our elders. And it, you know, and, you know, because they're, you know, they have the life experience. Because I wouldn't know anything about Cedar if I didn't come and sit with my grandmothers. And I used to drive the grannies all over to Tim Hortons and everything, go man hunting and all of that, right? And they talk, and I would just sit there and be quiet and soak it all in and absorb all the knowledge, because, you know, they're fun. They're fun. They like to laugh and they like to joke, you know, and the stories. And they share so much, right? Our elders are so important, you know, so like if there's a reserve nearby you or you're on one, I encourage you to go and sit with them and talk with them. I mean, we're always going to be here, of course, but I mean, you know, maybe you could have an elders gathering and bring all those grannies together and those grandpas together, and not for pickup either. Grandmas, you not for that, you know.
But one thing you need to do before, when we went in, this is when Philippine was, oh, this is such a long time ago. When they first started and Tim Hortons, we used to go in there and get a cup of tea with a cup and a saucer. A cup and a saucer.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when I go, you're gonna make me a tea, I want a cup and a saucer. You don't, see that. Everything is in cardboard, throwaway. There's like,
Don't give them one of these.
Oh, God. So, it's it's fun. I when she was saying talk to the grandmothers, I was sitting here thinking, You don't want to talk to the grandmothers because you know darn well what they tell you ain't gonna like.
That's exactly what we need to hear.
I have a que-
Hey? Exactly what we need to hear.
I have a question. The teaching that I was told that the cedar tea was to be extreme, as hot as you could sit in a bath, but I'm really not good with really hot, and the instructions were to sit in this really hot water until it cooled down. Would that be for a specific?
I want to.
So just bathing in the cedar is,
So
I was thinking, good luck.
yeah. So what I do is I'll boil a nice, great big, huge pot of cedar tea, right? And I'll get a picture. So I'll have, if I have a cedar shower, right? I'll fill up the pitcher. I'll bring the pot in, and then I just pour the cedar right over my head like I'm having a shower. And when I'm having a bath, I'll take the pot, and as the bathtub is filling up, and once it's full, then I'll take that pot and I'll pour the tea right in the bathtub. So I hope that's helpful. That's
No, well, I, for one, I can't, if I get in that bathtub, but I got nobody here, I live by myself, there's no way I get out. Because I'm 38. So when I boil my cedar, that's the last thing I put on my head. After I shower, I take that cedar water and just let it run over my whole body, all of me. And then after, I gotta comb this white hair, and I might have cedar in it, but it don't hurt. Oh,
Or remember when she would come to the center sometimes, Sheila, when we would start, we would always have her boiled. And one thing Vera always asks for is, we know her when we come, we got to make a nice big pot of cedar tea. And she would give everyone a washcloth, dip it in, and just wipe ourselves down. Yes. That was one of the first things she always did. And I really like that. Even that is even as good as cedar bath.
it's a cleansing. You're cleansing yourself with all of creation.
And we never had soap way back, way back. Our ancestors didn't use soap. You know, we used the medicines. Hair, cedar tea. We washed washed our hair in cedar tea and, sweetgrass water, right? So, I mean, like, our medicines are good for everything. Okay.
So when like how you're talking about the cedar bath, and that's the first bath a baby will get, but even as the passing, that is the last. Also, we'd like to give our people a cedar bath when they pass also. All right. Miigwech.
Oh, this is fun. I really enjoy, I love my life. I have a good life. Yeah. Learning to live this good life is a miracle. And it really is. I always talk about my favorite buddy, Arthur, and that's arthritis. my aching joint.
We're all gonna meet Arthur today.
Yes, you are. You're gonna meet.
Yeah.
But you keep going. You don't look back. You pick up Arthur and carry him with you.
Right.
I've made up my mind. I have teachings to give my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. When I look at my 3 here, I give them their names. Norden, Kinabagosin, Bidabin. They're so precious. Your children and your children's children are the most precious ones in your lives. whether you like it or not. And also, your mom and dad, they gave you life. Whether you like them or not, they gave you life. You need to honor that. Right? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I did see someone asked about the our sweetgrass. I have made sweetgrass tea. Have you, Sheila? And I drank it, and it's very good. Just the same way also.
I wash with sweetgrass soap that somebody made.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, who gave it to me? I'll be darned if I know.
Yeah, we can absolutely do other teachings. I'm just going back through the chat.
Yeah. There was lots of interest in how can people connect with you, and I know that I've just been enjoying this time so much, and I'm just so grateful that that you've come. And I hear so many people saying in the chat how inspired they are, and their gratitude to the both of you, and so maybe we can, convince you to come back sometime and continue to have conversations, and that would be lovely. Yeah.
That would be amazing. Because
Yeah.
I'm going home and
Okay.
hoping to do a sweat with Sheila.
Right.
Because Sheila does sweats. And yes, beautiful.
Just sit there and make sure they do it right. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta watch out, because someone's got sick now. Yeah, they'll walk you on the noggin if you don't behave yourself.
Miigwech, Sydney, for
Thank you.
letting me bring Vera and Sheila to everyone around Ontario.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure and my honor. And so I guess we should probably wrap up, although, I have a hard time. I just want to, freshen up my tea and, settle in for a couple more hours of conversation. It's hard to say goodbye, but I guess no goodbyes. What do we say?
Bama peace. We'll see you later. Bama peace.
Yeah.
We meet again.
And if you're Lynette,
Bama P.
Tima.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh.
We will see you again. We will see you again,
Exactly.
and look forward to it so very much. I hope that both of you have a beautiful rest of the day, and just thank you again for sharing not only your wisdom, your insight, but your humor and your love, and it's gratefully received. Thank you so much.
Need us to stay on for a debrief or anything after, Sydney?
If you would like to, we could. Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay.
Okay. So we want to just, although it might be, so then we'll just ask everybody else to sign off. And thank you so much for joining us. I will send out a little email with a link to this recording, and we will see you next time. So I'll stop the recording now too.
Bama